By the time you've reached this stage of life, you already know what trauma is. You've seen how the shadows of childhood, the words spoken to silence you, the comparisons that cut too deep, the affection given only when you behaved, can follow you for decades. After 60, you start to see the pattern more clearly. The mistakes, the regrets, even the quiet loneliness often trace back to messages planted long ago. And the harsh truth is this: those lies we swallowed as children didn't just fade with age. They shaped the way we lived, the way we loved, and the way we carried our pain. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to confront the ugliest lie many of us were made to believe as children, and uncover what it takes to finally set ourselves free from it, even in old age. If you've ever looked back and wondered why certain doubts still follow you, don't scroll past this. Save it, share it, and subscribe to my channel, because what we're about to talk about isn't about regret. It's about reclaiming the years ahead with clarity and courage. So, let's begin with that very first lie, the one so many of us swallowed without question, but which quietly stole more from us than time itself. Number 1. You're not enough. One of the ugliest lies many of us were told as children was simple but deeply damaging: that we weren't enough as we were. Maybe it came through words like, "You'll never succeed," or through constant comparisons with siblings and classmates. Sometimes no one said it outright, but we felt it in the silence when praise never came. Over time, that message settled inside us like truth. A long-term study from the Institute of Human Development reported that nearly 68% of adults over 60 who struggled with low self-esteem could trace it back to repeated criticism or dismissive parenting in childhood. Another review in the Journal of Lifespan Psychology noted that when children grow up with constant comparison, they are 52% more likely to carry feelings of inadequacy into their later years. The damage isn't just emotional, it changes how we live. Many people admit they avoided risks, opportunities, and even relationships because deep down they believed, "Someone like me doesn't deserve it." Psychologists call this a silent script, one that keeps repeating itself long after the original voices are gone. But here's the truth: the lie was never yours to carry. You were always more than enough. The power we didn't have as children to challenge those words we do have now. One practical step is to notice when the old script shows up. I'm too old, not smart enough, not worthy. Pause and counter it with a fact about who you are and what you've done. Another simple way to break it is through storytelling. Share with your children or grandchildren the lesson you've learned, that worth isn't measured by achievements, but by presence, kindness, and resilience. When you rewrite that story for yourself, you free them from inheriting the same wound. And if not enough was the first lie that held us captive, the second one is just as dangerous, because it didn't just shape how we saw ourselves, it shaped how we believed the world would treat us. Number 2, love must be earned. Unlike the first lie, This one doesn't always come in words. It slips in through small moments, when affection was given only if you behaved, when approval depended on grades, or when mistakes were met with cold silence. Slowly, the message became clear: love is not a gift, it's a reward you must earn. The cost of this lie is subtle, but heavy. It makes many of us overgive in relationships, staying silent instead of setting boundaries, or feeling guilty for resting because rest feels undeserved. Worse, it creates a cycle. When you believe love must be earned, you unconsciously pass that same lesson down to your children or grandchildren. Real love isn't a paycheck for good behavior. It's recognition of our shared humanity. At this stage of life, we don't need to keep chasing validation. One way to break the pattern is to practice receiving without apology. When someone offers help, a compliment, or affection, instead of brushing it off with "you didn't have to," try responding with a simple "thank you." That acceptance rewires the old belief little by little. The good news is you don't have to carry this lie forever. Next time someone offers you kindness, don't wave it away. Just smile and say thank you. Each day, remind yourself of one thing you appreciate about who you are, not what you do. With small steps like this, your heart slowly learns the truth. You've always been worthy of love. Another step is to look back and name the relationships where you felt safe and cared for without condition. Those memories, however rare, prove the lie wrong. By holding on to them, you remind yourself that love is not a prize, it's a birthright. If you've ever caught yourself feeling like you have to prove your worth just to be loved, save this video so the next time that old thought returns, you'll have a reminder of the truth right here. We were taught to believe love had to be earned, but the truth is, love loses its meaning the moment it comes with conditions. And while this lie poisoned our relationships, the next one is even trickier, because it didn't just touch the heart, it distorted the way we saw the future itself. Number 3, it's too late to change. This lie often doesn't come from parents or teachers. It comes from society itself. By the time we reach a certain age, we've all heard the whispers: you're too old to start fresh, too late to try something new, too late to change who you are. The problem is, many of us began to believe it. And the moment you accept "too late" as truth, the doors of possibility quietly shut before you even try to open them. The damage here is not just about lost skills, it's about lost confidence. Believing it's too late creates a habit of stepping back from life, watching instead of participating. You stop signing up, stop showing up, and eventually you stop speaking up. And little by little, that makes the world smaller around you. But here's the truth: change does not expire. History is filled with people who broke the mold late in life. Artists who first painted at 70, grandparents who mastered smartphones to stay close to family, even neighbors who learned to dance after retirement. What made the difference wasn't talent or luck. It was refusing to swallow the lie of too late. After I retired, I often told myself I'm too old to learn anything new. For years, I avoided technology and relied on others for the smallest tasks. But one day, I realized I was missing out on my grandchildren's lives overseas, so I signed up for a free smartphone class at the community center. At first, it was frustrating. My hands shook and the apps looked like a foreign language. But after a period of persistent effort, within months, I was video calling my family every weekend, even sharing photos and stories online. I remember smiling to myself one evening and thinking, I used to believe life had closed the door on me, but really, I was the one refusing to open it. That's why the only way to defeat this lie is by moving against it through action, not belief. Begin small. If technology feels overwhelming, ask a grandchild or a neighbor to show you one simple feature, like sending a photo. If health allows, join a short beginner's class at the community center. Gardening, painting, or even gentle yoga. Write down one new thing you want to try this month, and give yourself permission to take the very first step. If you've ever tried something new later in life, a class, a skill, or even just learning your phone, share it in the comments. Your story might be the spark that helps someone else believe it's never too late. While the third lie made us doubt what tomorrow could hold, the fourth one reaches further. It quietly tells us what place we should accept in life, even when that place is far smaller than our true value. Number 4. You don't deserve happiness. This lie is perhaps the cruelest of all. It sneaks in when life is hard, when parents or teachers said, "Stop dreaming, that's not for you," or when mistakes were thrown back at us as proof that we didn't deserve more. Over time, those words took root, and many people, even decades later, quietly believe joy belongs to others, but not to them. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom here doesn't just mean chains or prisons. It means freeing ourselves from the inner lie that we are unworthy of joy. When you choose to let go of guilt and welcome simple happiness into your day, you reclaim mastery over your own life. The cost of this lie is enormous. It makes people accept loneliness instead of seeking connection, pain instead of asking for help, and routine instead of chasing joy. It creates a silent prison, not because the world shuts happiness out, but because we close the door ourselves. But happiness isn't a prize for the flawless. It's the birthright of being human. Everyone stumbles, everyone makes mistakes, everyone carries regrets. None of that disqualifies you from peace, love, or laughter. Breaking this lie starts with one simple but radical choice. Allow yourself moments of joy without guilt. You can begin small. Sit outside and enjoy the morning light without thinking of chores. Accept an invitation to join friends, even if you feel you don't deserve the fun. Write down one thing each day that brought a spark of joy, then read it back at the end of the week as proof that happiness is still yours to claim. So, now let's move into the part where I bring everything together so you can see the bigger picture and carry forward the truth, not the lies. We've now unmasked 4 of the ugliest lies planted in us when we were children. That we're not enough, that love must be earned, that it's too late to change, and that we don't deserve happiness. Each of them may have followed us quietly for decades, shaping choices, silencing dreams, and shrinking the joy we allowed ourselves. But here's the gift of growing older. Wisdom gives us the power to challenge those lies. After 60, life isn't about proving or pretending. It's about living with honesty, freedom, and self-acceptance. The past may have written its lines, but the present is still ours to rewrite. So, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever recognized one of these lies in your own life? And how did you break free from it? Share your story in the comments. Your words may help someone else begin their own healing. And if this message touched you, don't forget to like, save, and subscribe, so together we can keep building a community where wisdom grows stronger with age. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in next video.